Good morning. It's wetter weather, at least at 8 a.m. it is. Today I'm going to Ciudad del Este. I'm going to go to the bus terminal this morning, and it's about usually ends up being like 5.5 hour drive. So I'll get there around 3:30. I'll probably be super hungry. I'm gonna get my favorite chipa on the way, Ana Maria Chiperia. It's so good. Mwah, chef's kiss. Literally the best chipa in the country, and I know a lot of Paraguayans agree. So of course, gonna get that on the way. I usually take the NSA bus, so we're gonna go there soon. But first I'm gonna head to Biggie across the street because I wanna get some water and a few snacks for healthier snacks than what you can find at the bus terminal for the weekend. I have made this journey from Asuncion to Ciudad del Este countless times now, and I really recommend this bus company. They have a more luxury VIP bus, which I took on the way back. That's only a few dollars more than the original bus ticket, and I believe they are getting Starlink to the bus company soon too. I have made it back once again to Ciudad del Este, and let's see what fun and interesting things we do this time. I'm gonna be doing Iguazu, maybe the dam if I have time. Need to get a few things at Shopping China. I always love when I go back to a place for the second time and I know some people, I know services that I want and places to go. So it's nice to be back. I won't be here for too long, just for a few days, but let's see what I get up to. It is Sunday and we are in Ciudad del Este. Everything is closed here on a Sunday. We are gonna go do some sightseeing, some tourist things, so let's go. Next up on the list of where to visit was Monday Falls. Now, Monday Falls, unlike Iguazu Falls, is strictly in Paraguay, and there actually are many different waterfalls on the Paraguayan only side, but Monday Falls is among the most popular, and it is absolutely beautiful. You can easily spend 2 to 3 hours here, and while it's not an entire built-out park like Iguazu Falls, which you'll see later in this video, there still is quite a bit to do and see when you're at Monday Falls. There are small hikes that you can take, and there's also an elevator where you can go directly down to the falls and be right beside the base of the waterfall, which is something that we personally did not see the option to do when we were on the Argentine side of Iguazu Falls. We officially made it to Monday Falls in Paraguay. Soon we're going to Iguazu, but we're getting a little preview of what we can expect here in Monday. In order to get to Monday Falls, you will likely want to take a taxi or more likely an Uber or a Bolt on the Paraguayan side. It's about a 25-minute drive is what you can expect from the Friendship Bridge between Brazil and Paraguay. And while you're in Paraguay, I highly recommend exploring a little bit more, heading over to Shopping Lago. We just finished our time at the falls. It was so beautiful. Probably only a few hours you need, but we spent a lot of time taking some photos and then got some souvenirs. And now we're heading to see what else we're going to do with the day. And we truly got the Paraguayan experience with the rest of the day. On the side of the road, we found, and you will often see in Paraguay, many of the local mate and tereré sellers. So she created a concoction specifically for us. And then we drove past an asado, also known as a barbecue. So we got some sausage, some ribs, and some meat. And then we took it as takeaway and headed over to the lake to eat it lakeside. Now, little did I know, unfortunately, what would be happening to me later that evening. So I'm sitting here in my hotel lobby, and there is what they call in Spanish a plague, but I don't think it's as severe in Spanish, the word, as it is in English. But we're in Ciudad del Este right now, just for a few days, and there is a plague going around. So I thought I had food poisoning initially, and it turns out that apparently this plague is making everyone sick to their stomach. It was terrible. Thankfully, it was really only one night, a few hours, that it was the worst, but it came on so quickly. Within 30 minutes of me feeling like something was off, I was just feeling so sick, and it was a terrible feeling. Thankfully, I woke up the next day, took some medicine. It wasn't 100% better. I didn't eat that much the next day, but it was much better than the night before. Apparently it's been going around Paraguay. I don't know if it's just Ciudad del Este. I don't know if it's also in Asuncion. I didn't hear about this before in Asuncion, and I didn't really know anyone that was sick in Asuncion. Today, I think we're just going to work from some coffee shops, get some work done. It's Monday. I had some calls this morning, and then I need to get some things at Shopping China while we're here, which is a shopping right on the border of Paraguay and Brazil. I think the prices are honestly just like American prices, but the taxes are so high in Brazil that mostly it's Brazilians that come over. And the frustrating thing actually about Shopping China is that a lot of the electronics, the outlets, are the Brazilian plug, which is different. The Paraguayan plug, I love it. It's so versatile. It's like the European and the North American plug in one. But the Brazilian, I believe, is the same as Australia's, I think. So it's not very versatile. Anyways, I think we're gonna go there, get a few things that we need for the house, for myself, might do a bit of shopping there. And so if we do go, I'll take you along because Shopping China is one of the, I think it is the biggest right now, at least. They're building more, but the biggest place where you can go shopping in Ciudad del Este. It's a mall, it has everything. The mall is Shopping Paris. It has a lot of stores, but then Shopping China takes up like an entire floor. It's this huge shopping market. So let's go. First, we're gonna do some work. So I'm buying a ticket to the Argentina National Park, Iguazu Falls, and I just thought this was so funny. I had to show this. What's included? Hot water for mate is included in the ticket. So a few days later, once I was feeling better, I ventured outside of the hotel to head to the mall Shopping Paris. Now, the store Shopping China is in the mall Shopping Paris, and this is one of the major stores where Brazilians will come over the Paraguayan border to shop because the taxes are so much lower in Paraguay than they are in Brazil. What you see on screen right now is the entrance. Unfortunately, it is under construction, but this is the entrance to the Shopping Paris mall. And from there on one of the upper floors is Shopping China. It takes up the entirety of the whole floor. I find prices to be similar to Amazon prices, but you can find absolutely anything that you could want in these stores and in this mall in general. So I just got finished at the cafe, which I did not take a video of, but I took some photos. I love going to this one cafe right in the center of Ciudad del Este every time I'm here. It's just really cute, great environment to work from, and they allow you to just sit there for hours and work. And so now we are walking to Shopping Lago, the biggest mall central area in Ciudad del Este, and probably we'll grab some dinner there and maybe look around, maybe go for a little walk around the lake. So we made it to Shopping Lago Mall. When I lived in Ciudad del Este full time, I found myself with this mall a lot because there's one restaurant specifically called Sin Culpa that I really enjoy the local barbecue and asado. When it becomes winter in Paraguay and the weather is not too hot outside, you can actually take your food outside. There is a balcony outdoor seating area on the food court terrace floor, so you can bring your food, you can go sit outside and just enjoy a beautiful view of the lake, as you can see here, while eating your food. And typically we like to go for a little walk around the lake, which takes approximately around an hour to walk around the entire lake after we go for a meal. And it's really just a nice way to enjoy the evening. While there's not much to do in Ciudad del Este, this is a really nice way to relax. So this is the view from the food court area, the outdoor area of the food court in Shopping Lago. I mean, how perfect. We were here a few months ago and it was so hot, but now we're in the 20s, not in the 30s. The temperature is perfect. And around the perimeter here, you can go for a walk around the entire lake. It takes just under an hour, I would say. Definitely a must-see when you come to Ciudad del Este. Good morning. Today we are heading to Iguazu Falls. So right now we are on the Paraguayan side. We are going to be making our way over to the Argentine side to the falls, which is close, obviously, if you're in Ciudad del Este, but it's not that close. So it's going to be a journey. I'm going to be documenting how to get there. You can Uber, or we do know a private driver, but I think we're going to take the bus because I've heard it's pretty easy, straightforward. And I believe it's the easiest to actually get over the border. The bus line, I have heard from multiple people, is faster than the car line. So We're gonna take the bus there to more so document the journey more than anything. We'll probably end up taking an Uber back. So let's head out on the journey. I expect it to take a few hours. We'll see how long it takes, how we get there. It will all be documented both here and on the blog. As we were walking over the Paraguay and Brazil Friendship Bridge, we saw one of these local colectivos that you see on screen offer to take us to the Brazilian side of the falls for only 20 US dollars. Now, we likely could have paid a little bit more to get to the Argentine side of the falls, and I actually recommend doing this route if you want a much easier route. We took public transport so that we could document the journey, but it was definitely a much more difficult route. So we're here at the terminal in Foz. We got an empanada at the border. We took a bike over the border, just so because it's raining, we didn't want to walk over. So now we are here. This is bus 120. We have confirmed 120 goes directly to Iguazu Park. So we're going to take it directly there. I believe it drops you off at the border between Argentina and Brazil. You go through immigration, and then it will pick you back up again on the Argentinian side and continue the trip to the park. So we're just waiting. The bus literally just arrived, and it is 30 real per person. I was told that you can tap and use a card. I haven't seen that on this bus, but as of 2025, it is 30 real, as they say in Brazil, per person to go directly to the park. But we do have to wait 30 minutes just for some more people to come. We just Ubered. It was 11 to Uber from the border of Paraguay and Brazil to this terminal. So like $2, really inexpensive. And now we're here. Okay, so we made a grand error. Big mistake. We did not verify if the bus that we got on the 120 was going to the Brazilian or the Argentinian side, and it was going to the Brazilian side. So we got off, and now we're seeing if there is another bus. If not, we're just going to Uber, but I don't think you can walk across this border. I believe you need to be on a bus or drive across this border. I guess we'll find out soon, and I'll keep you posted here. But that is the issue that we are now facing. All right, so I am really keeping you updated here. So line 120 goes to the Brazilian side of the falls, not to the Argentine side. We are waiting for a bus right now that apparently there is one that goes to the Argentine side directly to Iguazu Falls, but Ubers don't go over the border, but we might just get a taxi. So as you can see, we clearly ended up on the right direction, on the right track, but it was not easy. We had to ask some locals who did not speak English, only Portuguese and a little bit of Spanish, and we had to ask them how we could get from where we currently were in Brazil over the border to Argentina. So they recommended the Easy Bus. We waited at a bus stop and the Easy Bus came in only a few minutes. I've included the times previously so that you can see how often the Easy Bus comes, and it took us right over the border. So we went through immigration on the Brazilian and Argentina side. The Easy Bus picked us back up after immigration and took us here on the side of the road. Now, once the bus dropped us off, we were again quite confused on what the next step should be, so we ended up just waiting for an Uber and grabbed a taxi for 35 real each, and that took us here to the entrance of the national park. The journey itself was definitely somewhat treacherous and not without its difficulties, so if you have the option, I would recommend to simply take a colectivo or a local bus directly to the side of the falls that you're looking to visit. However, once you're in the park, I didn't really know what to expect. And the park itself is quite large. There's a large entrance, as you can see on screen now, and you'll be able to see in this clip what the map looks like. There are 3 main trails. Of course, there is the Devil's Throat Trail, and this train here will actually take you directly to the Devil's Throat. And then you simply have to walk along the grates in order to get to the viewing points. But there's also the upper and the lower trails, which I'll talk about and you'll see later in this video. Now, what you see on screen now is the entrance to various of these trails. So the upper trail and the lower trail, or the upper circuit and the lower circuit, are 2 of the main trails where you can still see beautiful views of the waterfalls. It's not going to be the same view as the Devil's Throat, but it is going to be stunning views of all of the waterfalls that are surrounding in this area. So from where we are on screen right now, you'll be able to walk along different trails. And I found each trail takes about an hour to an hour and a half if there is nobody else on that circuit. We were on a rainy day, and so there were very few people in the park, which was actually quite nice. As you can see on screen here, there is the train that will take you to the Devil's Throat Trail.
So it takes you a good majority of the way, I would say about 80% of the way, but there is some additional walking that needs to be done once you get off of the train. Now, the train on this day was not very full again because it was a rainier day, but I would imagine on days where it's beautiful and it's sunny, the train may be full and you may be waiting for a few trains in order to take your turn on the train.
So we are here walking to the Devil's Throat, and I believe it's 600 meters of walking on this metal grate until you get there. And now it is just us on the bridge, and I can see right ahead of us. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but there is the water particles in the air, so we're getting close. It's a really quick, easy walk, just walking along here. Because you get off the train, there was a big crowd of people when we got off the train, but now it seems like they've all gone ahead of us. So we are at the end.
So we are on the bridge on the way to the Devil's Throat. You can see the water particles in the air here, which signify where we knew the falls were and that we were getting closer. If you've seen photos or videos of Iguazu Falls, you've likely seen the Devil's Throat. This is probably the area in photos or videos that you have seen. It's absolutely stunning and certainly something that you need to check out, but don't underestimate the other trails that are in the park as well, being the upper and the lower circuit. I highly recommend both of those, and I personally really enjoyed the lower circuit. But of course, as you can see in these clips, it was absolutely stunning to see the Devil's Throat and to see so much water pouring over the edge. Now, it goes without saying, especially if you're going to be going on a rainy day, you're likely going to want to bring a raincoat, potentially an umbrella, but we had some plastic coverings that we bought for about $2 each on the streets in Paraguay due to it being a rainy day, so I recommend bringing some water protection if it is raining.
So here we are at the Devil's Throat. This is the one of 3 trails that you have to go to. Although obviously it's an overcast day today. Most of the people are wearing some sort of rain poncho because there's just so much water. But wow, how beautiful. The footage is a little bit blurry because the lens is blurry. So now we are doing the upper trail. First we did the Devil's Throat, and now we're doing the upper trail, upper circuit, and then there's also the lower circuit or lower trail. And look, if you can see behind me, all of these waterfalls. Here's some more. So beautiful. I think it says it's just under 2 kilometers for a pretty easy hike. I mean, it's just an easy walkway here. It's definitely not a strenuous hike, but wow. Definitely not as much water on these falls, but all of them in fairly close proximity is just beautiful.
Now, next up was the upper and the lower circuit. After we visited the Devil's Throat, we knew this was next on the bucket list, and I quite honestly found these views to be even more stunning because you really get a beautiful panoramic scenic view in the middle of the jungle in Argentina. I had heard many people saying before I went that the upper trail is something that you really want to visit. These are views from the upper trail, and it was stunning. A lot of the views that you'll see are views from the top of the waterfall. I really found the lower trail to be views that were absolutely breathtaking. You're not only seeing the top of the waterfalls because you're not walking over top of the waterfalls, but you're seeing the panoramic view of what you see on screen now, where the waterfalls are right in front of you, and there are easily 5-10 waterfalls all within view. However, the park closes at 6 p.m., so we were getting close to 6 p.m. when we left the park and grabbed the Rio Uruguay bus out of the park back to the area where we grabbed the taxi initially, and then we waited for the easy bus to come and pick us up and take us back to the Brazil-Argentina border.
So it is now evening. It's 8 o'clock at night, and we are walking over the border back to the Paraguayan side. Taking the bus we probably spent for 2 people maybe between $20 and $40, so it's very inexpensive. Between Ubers and buses, we took many different buses today, but it did take quite a few hours, so everything's documented obviously here on YouTube, and then everything's documented in photos and text on the blog. But especially if you're on the Paraguayan side, just get one of the drivers to take you. I believe it's around 20 to the Brazilian side. If you're going to the Argentina side, it might be a little bit more, but you can always negotiate. So here we are over the bridge going back to Paraguay. Whew, it was a long day. So I know I previously mentioned that I was a little under the weather. It was just this really weird, what I said, like they're calling it a plague and it's a stomach thing. It lasted 2 days. My partner had it. I had it first and then it went away. And then about 3 days after I started having symptoms of this plague, they're calling it, I don't know if there's like a name for it. It's really just a sickness, I guess, that's going around. I got it again. So we were supposed to go back to Asuncion. I really miss our apartment, our friends, playing paddle. I just miss the life that we have there. But we were supposed to go back today. I have this exact same sickness all over again, and you just don't want to even move your stomach for a second, let alone going outside, walking around. So we changed hotels, different environment, just wanting a different setting. And we're just hopefully here for one night before we can head back to Asuncion. But I just could not stand the bus today with the movement for my stomach. So hopefully tomorrow, we postponed our tickets by a day. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back on the bus, back to Asuncion. But I'm just getting some work done, what I can get done, and relaxing here because it is seriously not fun, whatever is going around right now, and I'm hoping I get better soon. It is another beautiful day in Paraguay. Today we are finally leaving Ciudad del Este. The sickness for the second time has gone, so I'm hoping it doesn't come back. We will take the NSA bus, is the company that we like to use. It's one of the safer companies. So we take the bus. It's usually about 5.5 hours back to Asuncion, and then I actually have quite a busy weekend this weekend. Might be playing some paddle tomorrow, and we have a few friends' birthdays, so we are just going to get back into the regular routine. Before we head to the bus terminal, we want to do some shopping. Obviously, Ciudad del Este is really good for shopping. I've already done some while I'm here, but it's getting a little bit chillier this morning. I mean, it's beautiful out, but it was 17 degrees at 9 o'clock, which I love, but it is getting chillier, especially as we go further into winter. It is only the beginning of April. So I think we're going to buy some coats, some jackets, some winter supplies before we leave. There's so many just street stalls, stands. So we are going to go take a look, see what's on the street, and buy some things before we leave. So this is what I ended up purchasing. It's a little bit of a mess because we're packing to leave right now, but I got this leather jacket. Obviously it's not real leather. It was just on the street. We got like 2 more jackets, some hats, not for me, for my partner, but this was 150,000 guarani. It's clearly from China. The labels in it, you can tell, but I mean, not a bad price, and it is a little bit thicker, so I'll probably wear this as my winter jacket.
After feeling much better and doing a good morning of shopping, it was time to check out of the hotel, and we grabbed an Uber to the bus station. We took the NSA bus back to Asuncion, again about a 5.5, maybe 6-hour drive with traffic. This is the main bus station in Ciudad del Este. There's a private waiting area for NSA clients. We grabbed some empanadas and some goodies for the bus ride back, embarked, and headed back home.
Well, that is a wrap on Ciudad del Este. Got sick twice, went to Iguazu Falls, went to Monday Falls, did a lot of things, did a lot of shopping as well. So we're on the NSA bus going back to Asuncion. There are 2 different types of buses. It's like a few dollars more for the nicer bus, which is this one. You get just like a really nice big seat. It obviously, they both recline on both bus options, but it's just a really nice sitting area to relax for a few hours, and then you arrive in Asuncion.
I hope you enjoyed this vlog, seeing more about what you can expect from Ciudad del Este and of course Iguazu Falls and how you can get there. Hit subscribe if you're interested in learning more about Latin America travel, and I'll see you in the next one.